All right, for today's video review, we're going to take a look at yet another one of our Dinoforce members here from Legacy United. Again, this was the Hasbro Pulse Con Exclusive for 2024. And yeah, first we took a look at Goryu, the Kakuryu. I've been saying Kukuryu, but it's Kakuryu, my bad. Then Gairyu, and now we're taking a look at Rairyu. These names are getting really hard to pronounce. I just love that we have Goryu, Doryu, Gairu, Rairyu. It's like it's too much. They're too similar. But by the end of these, maybe I'll have these guys' names like patterned down in my head. But because the only one I could really remember before was Goryu, since he was the only one that was like a really prominent character in the Transformers Victory cartoon. Like Kukuryu was like a comic relief character, but wasn't, he was only just kind of a background character like the other ones. But yeah, for today's video, we're going to take a look individually at Rairyu. So we'll just take all the rest of this stuff and put it off to the side here. And yeah, he is the one that is responsible for taking care of the combined mode feat, which are new pieces to this set. I believe that I don't think that the core class Dinobots, I don't think that they had feet. I think that they just kind of like rested on the bottom of the stuff. I don't know. I don't have those molds. I was not super interested in them. So these guys are my first exposure to these molds. But yeah, in terms of storage for these, they just turn into these big missile pods, and you take these kind of like slanted pegs, and they'll actually peg onto the back of his legs here and make these giant missile pods, which is honestly kind of a neat look, and it helps differentiate him from Sludge, who obviously he is a repaint of the core class Dinobot Sludge. And yeah, this guy I think is the one that really kind of suffers the most from like the combined mode aspects of him, because he has very, very weird legs in robot mode, and of course a lot of these guys, no elbows. But I do appreciate this storage. I feel like it's kind of a neat solution there to just give him these big missile pods, which obviously is not super accurate to his original toy, but this figure also doesn't already look that much like the original toy, especially in alt mode anyway, because of the classic, pretender problem of like, oh, his outer robot or his like outer combiner or his outer pretender shell was like a green dinosaur, and then his inner robot were pretty much these colors. So it's like, which direction do they go in unless they're straight up doing pretender shells again? But yeah, that's what he looks like in alt mode. In terms of comparisons in this mode, here he is with Sideswipe, just for a standard deluxe comparison. Here he is again with Vertebrake, just so you can see a standard core class comparison. Here he is with Studio Series 86 Sludge, so you can see how they look together for whatever that's worth. And yeah, to get onto robot mode, obviously we'll just take off the feet weapons here. And then basically you want to take the whole tail, and it will split, which can be a little bit annoying to do, honestly. Split and then kind of rotate out to the side like this, just to free up the arms, which you take and you rotate this bit out to the side just like that, rotating in the front legs of the dinosaur. Then for these bits, you pretty much just rotate them straight down like this, rotate him around at the waist, and then take the dinosaur head and flip it onto his back. And there you have Rairyu, or Rairyu? I'm pretty sure it must be Rairyu, which is still kind of hard to pronounce, in his robot mode. And yeah, he looks okay. I think he's probably the weakest looking robot. And it doesn't help that his thighs are just like straight up fake. Like if you flip up this panel, like you can see his thighs are not attached to his thighs, because the whole thing is attached this way, which is super duper weird. Like it makes sense for why they did that for the combined mode, but it's yeah, it's really a kind of strange aesthetic for robot mode. But yeah, in terms of articulation, his head can swivel. He does, of course, like the other ones, have a new head sculpt there, so he doesn't look so much like Sludge. Shoulders can rotate. They're just on ball joints. He's the other one of the ones that does not have any elbows, unfortunately. You can kind of use this to bend in for transformation, but the feet kind of pop out and then mess with the combiner head. Dinosaur head. He does have a waist swivel, which is kind of up his body here. And then, yeah, like I said, the knees are super weird. Like they can rotate down here where they're connected to this joint here, and then they're not connected to these fake little thigh chunks, which are actually connected to the legs. And then the actual connection to the legs is up here at this ball joint. So it's like, if you're willing to accept he's got like just weird joints, like he's got some versatility in terms of his articulation. Honestly, it bothers him bothers me way less with him than it would have with Sludge, because obviously if you have Sludge, like, yeah, Sludge has always been a guy whose knees work properly, whereas I have less attachment to this individual character. So it's like, okay, yeah, maybe he's just got weird legs, like he's allowed. But yeah, it's a little bit awkward to work with, and I don't think looks totally elegant either, even like with the illusion it's trying to create here. But yeah, like I said, he's definitely, I think, the one that suffers the most from the combined mode aspect for these guys. And then for these, in terms of storage, you actually do have these little flip out pegs here, which can peg onto his arms to give him these like missile pod weapons that hang off of his arms, which is kind of a cool look there. He can't, I mean, I guess he could kind of hold them too, because they do have a 3mm peg as well. So you can actually have him like hold these as missile pods if you prefer that. But personally, I just leave these attached to his arms and call it a day. That's really the best storage spot for them, which of course makes him a little bit more top heavy too, which means fiddling with his weird legs is that much more annoying. But gets the job done, I guess. But yeah, in terms of comparisons in this mode, here he is again with Sideswipe and with Vertebrake, just so you can see how he stacks up with some average size figures there. Here he is with Haslab Deathsaurus. Again, I don't know how the scale doesn't really work, but whatever. That's what he looks like with him. I'm just going to keep saying that pretty much. And here he is again with Goryu and Kakuryu and Gairyu here, so you can see how the team is looking so far. And yeah, as a combined team, I feel like they look decent overall. Obviously, a lot of these guys have the issue of just looking a little bit too much like the original Dinobots characters, but I don't think he looks a whole lot like Sludge, since that core class figure didn't even really look a whole lot like Sludge. Really, the only three that it kind of sticks out for me for in robot mode are Kakuryu and then the two arm bots. But yeah, either way, that's what those guys look like together. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to Rairyu. Again, not an amazing figure on his own, but as part of this set, like, he gets the job done. I do kind of like how he uses the missile pods there as the feet. I feel like that's kind of a neat use of those. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to him. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And without further ado, here we have Transformers Legacy United, Hasbro Pulse Con Exclusive. I almost said Rairyu.